Hi! What if reading didn't stop on the last page? What if books could inspire hands-on creativity and problem solving and collaboration and just communication and real-world exploration? That's exactly what we're diving into today. How to bring fairy tales, folk tales, and fables to life through engaging STEM and makerspace activities. Hope you stick around. Welcome to Readers in the Making, the live show where we celebrate the magic of books and the joy of helping kids grow as readers. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone who loves fostering a deep, lifelong love of reading, you're in the right place. Each week, I will dive into actionable tips, creative strategies, and inspiring stories to help you nurture confident, curious, and excited readers, one page at a time. I'm Trina Debry, your host and biggest cheerleader in the journey of building readers. So grab your coffee, your notebook, or maybe even your favorite book, and let's get ready to inspire the next generation of readers. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Let's dive in. Hey, so today we're talking about bringing stories to life, bringing fairy tales to life with STEM and Makerspace. Let's talk about why this matters. When kids combine storytelling with hands-on exploration, they deepen their conversation, they build critical thinking skills, and they see books as a gateway to adventure and discovery and building and trying and failing and picking yourself back up and making another iteration and going again. These skills are so important for our kids. They are life skills. All right, this is what you can expect today. We're going to talk about STEM challenges that extend learning beyond the book. We're going to talk about makerspace projects that spark creativity and problem solving. And then finally, we're going to talk about how to make reading an interactive, unforgettable experience. Let's get started. So the power of the story-driven STEM and Makerspace challenges. All right, so why does STEM and literacy work so well together? Well, stories are full of engineering types of problems that kids can solve, and science problems that they can solve, and problem-solving moments just waiting to be explored. And from designing structures to experimenting with force and motion or simple machines, fairy tales naturally lend themselves to hands-on learning. So how does this help a child become a better reader? It encourages active engagement, where the child goes from the book beyond, and they're still thinking about what they've read and the story, and maybe even possibly the problem in the story and how to solve that. They're still thinking of it beyond the book, which is what we want for them. And instead of passively reading, kids do something with the story, which really helps those reluctant readers and also those kids that learn best by moving and doing. So it also builds deeper comprehension. Acting out these kinds of concepts and thinking about solutions to problems, it helps kids retain and understand key story elements. They have to, first of all, be even aware of the characters and the story and the plot and all the parts. So it also promotes creativity and critical thinking. And this challenges them to think like engineers and inventors. And we need more critical thinking. We need a lot less, everybody let's read this and answer a question, or let's test on it. Let's do a lot less of that, and let's do more open-ended critical thinking types of activities. So our kids are really thinking. All right, part 2, fairy tale inspired STEM and Makerspace challenges. All right, so I'm going to give you some examples, and I wish I had actually made some slides. It would have been easier for you, but I'm just going to give you some. And so these are just some off the top of my head, and also with the help of ChatGPT. These are some STEM challenges that could go with some of the fairy tales, folk tales, and fables that I have recommended in other videos. And if you have not checked those out, make sure to check those out and give me a like. Tell me, yes, this is what the content that I want more of. Feel free to share this with anyone that you know needs to hear it, and definitely subscribe so that you don't miss an episode, because I have shared an episode about the 5, I think it was 5 of my favorite fairy tales, folk tales, and fables. I did do those 5. And so now I'm going to talk about those stories again, but this time we're going to add a fun STEM challenge. So when we look at Stone Soup, which I love Stone Soup, this is a one thing that could come to mind is engineering a solar powered soup warmer. Now they are creating soup, stone soup together as a community. And the problem is no one wants to share or be kind to strangers. And so they're trying to solve that problem. And then they start building soup. So this, see how it lends itself into that way? They could design and do a way of testing warm soup using solar energy or an alternative cooking method. The STEM focus obviously is solar power, heat absorption, and even energy transfer. And the extension is we can compare traditional cooking methods across different cultures. How do different societies cook soup? And that's just from one story. And there's so many other things that we can do as far as like reading comprehension, but then we can take it beyond that with an extension, like with stone soup and in engineering a solar powered soup warmer. All right, another idea would be like with Cinderella, designing a glass slipper prototype. Now this one is a little less open-ended because we know that they're all going to make a glass slipper, which feels like more of a craft. But when we allow them to think about how they're going to make an iteration to this glass slipper so that it doesn't break when somebody puts their foot in it, and all the things that have to be like the energy transfer and weight and weight transfer and what that looks like when you're putting it on a delicate piece of material. So they're still thinking and problem solving, but it is a little bit different than actually giving them a problem and allowing them to come up with solutions. So the focus might be on, engineering and designing and testing. All right, another idea would be like the elephant's child, which is exploring cause and effect with a trunk grabber experiment. That could be really fun, especially because in the elephant's child, this is where we learn why elephants got their trunk. It's a very cute little folk tale meant to give a reason for something that happens that we see and that happens in the world. So in this case, we could do something that focuses on, simple machines and adaptations and animals. And so that can be really cool. Another idea is with the fox and the grapes, creating a simple machine to reach the grapes. So that could also be an idea, again, where we're taking a story, maybe we're doing some reading comprehension activities, maybe we're focusing on the point of view from the fox or the point of view, well, obviously not the grapes, but just the point of view of who's telling the story. Is it a narrator? Is it the fox? And looking at it from different perspectives. How would it sound if your child was telling the story or your student was telling the story? And then going a step further and thinking about how we can actually get the fox to the grapes by creating a simple machine. And in that case, maybe we wouldn't even tell them it was a simple machine. Maybe we would just say, how would you solve the fox's problem? And then they would come up with things. And you might give them a little bit of information about simple machines so that naturally they come up with something like that. But we're going to allow them to think about whatever they think will work. And then we're going to analyze it for simple machines. All right, another idea might be the boy who cried wolf, designing an alarm system to warn the village. That could be really important. Think how powerful that could be, because we have to do that even when we have, things like large fires like we've had, in California, or when we've had major hurricanes or tornadoes. And so these kinds of things can be really real world as well, just based on a simple fable. All right, so those are just a few ideas that you could do with fairy tales, folk tales, and fables. But do you see how you can start to build beyond the story and how that allows so much creativity and so much critical thinking? All right, so let's talk about how to use these activities at home or in the classroom. So you don't need fancy materials. You can really use pretty much anything. It can even be recycled trash. Yes, trash actually works. But you could use tape and cardboard, string, glue. You might want to use Play-Doh as a connector, straws, toothpicks, popsicle sticks, all those kinds of things like that are really easy to find and relatively cheap. Another idea is even paper towel holders and toilet paper rolls. So we know we have plenty of those. We want to encourage open-minded thinking, or open-ended thinking is what I should say. Open-ended thinking. We want them to experiment. We want them to fail. Yes, we want them to fail. Kids have to learn how to deal with the uncomfortable, how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And isn't it better that they learn younger rather than later when they're like really stuck? We learn through failure. We learn how to persevere and move forward and have grit and determination. And it allows us to see what's not working and what else we can do. And this is a safe environment. Like productive struggle. So we want them to try and try again. And that's the point. Problem solving is part of the process. We can also make it a group challenge where they have to work collaboratively, which takes a lot of communication skills and can be really powerful. If you're homeschooling and you work with a little cohort or you have something like that, that would be really helpful. Or if you're in the classroom, it's pretty easy to do teamwork kinds of things, so that could be really, really powerful. All right, so we're wrapping it up. Let's recap some key points. STEM and Makerspace bring activities to life. They make reading engaging. Hands-on challenges really deepen comprehension, and they strengthen problem-solving skills and creativity. And no special equipment is needed, just curiosity and imagination. Want more ways to integrate STEM and storytelling? Well, then grab my free Fairytales, Folktales, and Fables sample lesson, and you can start sorting through the genres and getting them to understand the difference between the genres. And then we can move on to the next things. You can grab that for free. It's right below this video. Make sure you grab it. Let me know how it goes. And a final note, reading isn't just about words on a page. It's about experiencing stories in a new way so that we can really focus on comprehension. Let's connect reading with hands-on discovery and inspire a true love of learning. You and I together creating readers in the making, one page at a time. All right, if you enjoyed this, I'd love for you to like it. Definitely make sure that you're subscribing it. You want to share it with someone else? That would be awesome too. Thanks so much. See you next time.